How many hours a week do you waste doing bullshit, complete bullshit, and just unproductive things? Scrolling social media, scrolling TikTok, you're wasting time with people that you don't really care about. They don't really care about you. Doing random activities that don't really do anything for you or your goals long term. Like how many, add up the hours and you'll be surprised like how much time you're wasting. All right, this is a video I want to make for people that have goals and they feel like they're not making progress. They feel like they don't have enough time in a week and a day to go after them. They feel like they're too busy. There is a lot of time in a day. Everybody, no matter who you are in the world, you're rich, you're poor, whatever job you work, we all have the same amount of time in a day, 24 hours. All right, what you do in those 24 hours determines what you're gonna get out of life. All right, like some people are going to be very productive. They're going to be going after the shit that they want. They're not going to waste time, right? And they're going to get there if multiplied by years doing that same thing. But other people are not going to do that. They might do it for a little bit. They're going to get distracted, get bored, whatever, and they're going to do something else. And you'd be surprised how much time you can waste by just like drifting along and not having a plan. So if you guys feel like you guys don't have any time in your day to do stuff that you want to do, that you need to do, you need to make a daily schedule. All right, this is the cheat code right here. Well, not cheat code, but this is like almost mandatory for anybody who's trying to accomplish anything worthwhile. You need to have like a daily schedule, and believe it or not, you already have one like running in the background right now already, even if you never wrote it down the schedule, because we all have routines that we do every day, right? Like you probably brushed your teeth this morning. You probably watched YouTube at a certain time every day. You probably go to work, school, meet some people. There's a certain rhythm in your life that you're used to doing right now that you might not even be aware of. You don't need to have it written down, but you just automatically do. All right, and whether that serves you and your goals is another thing. But if you want to be on track, you want to stay productive, you need to manage your time very well. You can't just waste it. All right, because when you don't reach your goals, all you need to do is look back at what you were doing every day for the last several months and years, and it'll tell you the story of why you're where you are right now. So what I started to do is use I use a notebook and a pen. All right, you don't need to go crazy with some crazy apps or something like that. You can use a calendar, like Google Calendar, a physical calendar, whatever you need to do. Make it make sense to you. Make sure that it's easy to follow and it's basically easy to follow. You don't want something too complicated. So I use a pen and paper. I write down in my notebook. I try to do it the night before the next day, and I write down literally from the hour I wake up to the hour I go to bed, exactly what I'm going to do that day. All right, I write down 8 a.m. for example. I wake up, brush my teeth, take a shower. 8:30 I go for a run. 9 I eat breakfast, and then maybe 9 to 5 go to work. Whatever it is, everyone's day is a little bit different. You might have a different schedule than me, than your neighbor. Just put down time, block out the day. All right, and you need to stick with this list, with this daily schedule, because if you wake up and you just like, all right, what am I gonna do today? Well, you're already kind of lost already, because you have no direction. You're going to be at the mercy of how you feel. And if you live in a comfortable environment, you're not going to probably feel like doing anything, to be honest. You're just going to be slacking around. You're going to have no direction, no focus. So you need to do this in advance, so when the moment you wake up, you already know what you're doing for the day. It's already set in stone, like what you're going to do, right? Throughout your day, when things might come up and you might realize that you need to do something in the future that you can't do right now. Like for example, if you're like at work and then your friend calls or something, and or you have a credit card bill or something you gotta fix, but you can't obviously leave work to do it, put it down in your calendar. I use just go on your calendar app on your phone, put down what you need to do at what hour of the day, and then it'll pop up and remind you. All right, unless you have a superhuman memory or some shit like that, you're gonna need to use some sort of a calendar or an app or something, notes on your phone or pen or paper to track these things. There's so many things that are gonna pop up, and you need to track them, or else you're just gonna freaking forget. So put it down on your calendar and organize it before you go to bed every night for the next day. For people that are really super serious about time management and being productive, I would do this preferably for the entire week, if you can, or entire week, entire month. It is hard to predict the entire week and month, especially if you have an unpredictable job or your life is super, super hectic. You guys got a lot of things going on, but you want to have at least a framework, a baseline to go off of, that when you wake up, you're probably gonna be doing this in this certain order, A, B, C, D. All right. Because the biggest mistake, when you're trying to just you can't just motivate the shit out of yourself every single day. You're not. Some days you're not gonna be motivated, and what you need on those days is not fucking another motivational video or a superhuman music or some crazy pre-workout. What you need is a list of things to do that day, and to go down that list whether you feel like it or not. And that list has to be made the day or multiple days prior to the actual day, so you can follow it. So that is my tips for staying productive, not wasting time, and just getting the most out of your day, because there's a lot of hours in the day. If you guys work a full-time job, you guys are a student, if you guys do both of these things, there's a lot of people that work and go to school at the same time, and you might have family, you might have other responsibilities outside of these areas, you probably want to work out, there's a lot of things that you might have on your plate. This is exactly what you need. All right, you need a lot of fucking things on your plate. Don't be I used to think that I needed less things on my plate in order to focus on my workouts, all right, or maximize my recovery. That is the ultimate way to waste time. All right, you don't need 24 hours a day to fucking work out, to recover and stuff like that. All right, you don't need to perfect everything down to a T, unless you are some kind of IFBB top 3 bodybuilder, or this thing is your livelihood. When it comes to self-improvement, you need to dedicate the biggest bang for your buck for whatever area you're trying to improve. If you're trying to improve your workouts, your health, you don't need to dedicate 10 hours a day to that shit. All right, 2 hours tops of work for the working out, probably closer to 1 hour a workout. All right, 3 times a week, 3 to 5 times a week. Do some just walk around throughout the day, get your steps in, eat healthy for the most part. You don't need to overanalyze every single thing. All you need is consistency, a plan, and just a hunger to reach your goals. That's all you need. So if you guys are having trouble reaching your goals, having trouble staying consistent, you need to write this down on paper, set alarms, set timers on your phone to remind yourself what you need to do every single hour of every day.